Hey, well, hi everyone. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Liam Hartley back with you today with another episode of Presenting Champions for the Simply Inspired podcast. And I've got a super inspirational story to share with you today. And I'm bringing you actually something that's exclusive because even though this man has appeared on TV extensively, this is actually the first podcast in this format. So something exclusive, something you've not heard before like this. Now, today's guest. Mladen Jokmanovic. Hopefully, I'm saying that the right way. Hopefully, I haven't messed that up too much. He's a legendary trainer and competitor in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a teacher of judo. This man actually has so many achievements. I've actually got a list of them here because, trying to remember all that. But we've got judo master, fifth Dan black belt. We've got jiu-jitsu master, third Dan black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in the first degree, and Andre Tim Monteiro. We've got an extensive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu lineage here. This man is in the Hall of Fame. Outstanding contribution to martial arts. Obviously, he's competed at the highest level as well. Been a judo referee. I mean, the list is as long as my arm. I won't cover it here, but suffice to say that this man has achieved a lot of success doing something that he loves. And as well as achieving that success personally, he's then passed on a lot of that knowledge to the next generation or to anyone who wants to learn, had a positive impact on a lot of people, helping them to become their best selves. Whether they go on to compete or not, this man is improving lives. We'll talk more about that later. So, quick introduction there, my friend. There's probably a lot more we could get into, but people get the gist. Thank you for coming on the show, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the invitation. It's really a huge honor, huge honor for me.
Absolutely. Well, for me as well, and like we were talking about just now, I've seen some of your jiu-jitsu accomplishments. Obviously, I've seen the training. I thought, wow, you're having a positive impact on a lot of people. And, you come from a small country like myself as well, because even though I'm from the UK, but I'm from Wales, so it's a smaller part of, not from England. So I sort of relate to that, people making it from these places as well. And absolutely going to be an honor to talk about your journey. And obviously, with your journey, my friend, going back to the beginning, I don't always start at the beginning, but I think we will today. Just to get a little feel for what lit that fire inside of you to want to compete, if there was a particular person or a particular gym, and where it all started for you, please.
Well, I started in judo. It was like end of 1999. Loved it. Always been fascinated by throws and stuff. That was like something even like as like much smaller kid. Like the action figures, the toys, like the He-Mans, Action Mans, whatever. Like there was no fist fights in my play. There was like only like gripping and like high amplitude throwing and stuff. Like that's what fascinated me. So there was no wrestling in Montenegro. Like from my information back then, wrestling was the thing, but there was no wrestling. Montenegro has like no wrestling history, like almost at all. Like couple of tries later on in the years, I was like part of that, but like no tradition. So I chose judo. It's like after a couple of years of judo, opportunity like showed up. The club that I was at, like the master decide we add like Japanese jiu-jitsu competitions. So we started doing that. Like was interesting. It was like that form of fighting is like literally judo with punches in a competition form. So it was like natural and like going towards the teen years and like adolescence is like, yeah, I want more, like bigger challenge, not just like throws. So after some time, I come to the videos of Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's like that's everyone's story. I think when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, somebody watched the video of some of the Gracies in my case, it was like Hoist Gracie, probably one of the first three UFCs, and I was impressed. And but I was familiar with the moves. I just didn't understand how superior and how easy Hoist makes it look. And like I was like skeptic. That's the judo mind. It's like judo is kind of you're very like proud and like judo is the best. Like judo is even better than football. Judo is even better than like whatever. And I was like, this must be some form of judo. Like I know this. Like couple of years after, like I find videos. We we downloaded back then like illegally. I think like still the torrents and stuff like. And it was an era of slow dial-up internet in Montenegro. Like ADSL later on like took off, and like go to the like internet cafe, download 5 6 videos that was like Google videos, if you remember, and like study those videos, like watch like videos of the fights. And I remember I could like even now, how many times I watched those videos, I could tell you what the commentator said A to Z, like beginning to the end. It was studying, because Montenegro had no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back then. It's like a couple of years after, I get my blue belt from like guys visiting from neighboring countries. I go to seminars. Then 2006 is Montenegrin independence. The regaining of independence in Montenegro becomes independent again. Then there was like I cannot compete from clubs from Serbia, Croatia, surrounding countries. So what I'm going to do, I'm the only blue belt. I was 18, and a friend of mine goes like, "Why don't you try like opening a club? See if it's like this interests any other people." I'm like, "No, man, I'm too young. I cannot do it. It's like I'm 18. What do I know? Need to study, need to like fix my life. It's like take it a try. Like I can help you with like whatever those documents if you need something." And I was like, let's give it a shot. That's how it starts. That's how my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club, Mataleo, starts like 18-year-old kid trying to do the third sport of his somehow with somebody, and there is no source. Like there's no like black belt, there's no proper instruction, there's no one. Like 2006, zero Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Montenegro. And that's how I start. Of course, like along the way, it was my younger brother, a couple of friends, and it was up and down, and now it's 18 years this year of the club. It's like came a long way. Even though what people say, still I'm relatively young, like old coaches consider me young coach still. But like I have a like 18-year-old baby club, and after that's could be interesting. My like sports that are my basic sports, judo and Japanese jiu-jitsu, I founded those clubs 3 years later. 3 years later, I was like, okay, as I'm doing this, I'm paying gym rents, we're struggling. People know me from judo more. Why don't add this? Like, let's give it a shot. I'll be here, I'll be in the gym from like 6 p.m. until 9. No problem. I like lead 3 trainings. And it was a brave move. It was a brave move, but with judo it kicked off nice, and with Japanese jiu-jitsu. And then people were like, "What are you guys doing the third training? What are those big guys there, and what are you doing?" And I'm like, "That's Brazilian jiu-jitsu." "Oh no, that's like that cage thing, blood and stuff." Like, no, 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 no. It has no punches. It's like very similar to judo and Japanese jiu-jitsu, but it's more self-defense oriented. It's more modern, different rules. It has like you don't have to wear gi. You don't have to like have a kimono. There's a discipline like for like new times. You have to like find a way to like explain it to people. You can wear shorts and a t-shirt and practice arm move. You don't have to be like, because people still like people who are not from the martial art. It's like you come to a strong guy or parent from the gym, is like guy has kids, he's not going to wear like a costume and like, what am I doing, like 40-year-old guy wearing as like my US friends say, pajamas, and stuff. So people, older members usually start with nogi, with grappling, and then when they realize the quality of the art of the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, then they add also gi. So this was a wide, wide answer, right?
Oh, it's a good answer. It's amazing because you're a pioneer of this in your country, which I realized to a certain degree, but this is more even than I thought, because you're literally putting your country on the map, which is amazing. And with that time, you said it's a brave move, very much a brave move. I have to ask a question there. Did you still expect to be doing this so many years later? Because, you made a very brave move at 18, then later 3 years, what's that, 21, 22, to open these other clubs and everything. And you didn't know how it was going to go, but you knew you loved it. And a lot of people go through this transition where they realize from just loving it, they can go really far with it. And I want to touch on that, especially for people out there who have a dream or a goal, because they don't know how far they're going to go with it, and it always starts with the passion. I love your passion, by the way. I mean, it actually, you like glow, with the passion of how
Thank you.
much you love this. The world needs that, so keep doing that. But yeah, at that time, how far did you think you'd go, or were you just taking it one step at a time, that type of thing?
I was at the crossroads in life, it was like just finished high school. It was like, okay, I'm going to study English and French, and that's my profession. I'm a translator. Unfortunately or fortunately, my sports took over, completely took over. Now I barely, like, from time to time I translate a movie, work on translation of a book, do something like that. But like my clubs and sports like ate my professions. Like my languages help me every day with communication, with meeting new people, being like capable of expressing like everything I want. But as you said, my passion turned into my real profession now. But let me get it straight. It's like after 15 years plus. So it's like it's a bumpy road, it's a difficult road, it's ups and downs, it's like losing places to train, finding a new one, losing members in the process because you don't have a place where you should practice. Then like more emphasis on myself and fighting, then coming back up. Then it's like it's up and down and it's up and down. It's really a crazy road. But as I said, it's a crossroad. It was like I was already how do you say assistant coach in judo. So I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to be always like assistant coach? And in Montenegro, it's almost like from a person to person, you almost, God forbid, wait for your old master to pass away, then you take over, or you like gradually. So I was like, I'm going to do it for other people, or I'm going to try to do it for myself, because people say I'm good at it. I'm good at coaching. It's like people like my classes, people like what I do. Even back then, it's like it's a difficult like to bring 4, 5, 6-year-old kid to an 18-year-old kid. It was like, I tell this to my like guys who start at 18, 19. I was like, man, I don't want to sound like old and everything, but when I was your age, I started a club, and parents brought their kids to me. I was like, I'm like, man up, be more serious. Why are you like 15 minutes late for no reason? Look at people here. It's like I have 2 kids. My godfather is there, like 10 years older than me. 2 kids. We have like veterans in the club, 50 plus. There on time. How come are you late? What happened? I went to sleep watching my phone, and you know, it's like I use it as an example to tell them something can be done, and but I don't know many people, to be honest, that would like push through it all. Even today, it's a lot. It's like the competition system and membership of judo. It's a competition system and membership and obligations of jiu-jitsu, and it's like competitions and stuff and everything club of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And you probably saw what I do. I post a lot, like probably like I'm very boring to my followers and people who know me but don't like my sports. But like it's almost I don't have a weekend free. It's like it's even like one weekend, Saturday is one sport, Sunday is other sport. So it's also kind of difficult for my families. Like I'm not there a lot for them, but I try to compensate when I'm there and like fix everything. But it's a very I'm not going to say unique, but it's a rare thing. At least at this point. At some point, my vision is like spread it, have more like assistants, instructors, be like a coordinator more than like the first person. But at this point, it's like every training, uh, I'm every day I'm there teaching for 3, 4 trainings per day, even more. So it's like concluded with locking the gym, cleaning before that, and everything is like I'm everything. I'm the secretary, I'm the coach, I'm the how do you say the janitor, I'm like everything now. But I don't complain. It's like it's something that must be done. Uh, as I said to you, there was no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I started. And of course, things got much better with years after I found like a very good mentor. As you mentioned, Andre, you read from my CV, Andre Monteiro, that like really helped me be on the right path, stay on the right direction. So now my guys have everything. My guys have like proper coaching, quality knowledge, opportunities to compete. I'm even organizing competitions in Montenegro. There was 5 Montenegro Opens so far, international ones. There was 4 national ones. Even try to create a national body, national federation for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a couple of years ago. Had a lot of obstacles with that. Ended up suing the Ministry of Sports of Montenegro for not allowing us. Winning the how do you say the case. Then like the law changed. Then the law had like new law had different, much more demanding stuff. Then we couldn't do it. Now it's here and there if it can be done, but it's like now there's almost 200 people at competitions. And I really think at one point, if I didn't have the will to keep pushing, that it would be much smaller, if not to say that it like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu would not, maybe in some like extra training for MMA, like somebody knows something, was abroad, brought some knowledge, but like the scene, the club, and like the competitions, I'm not sure it would be able. I'm not going to say without me, without Matalao Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club in Montenegro.
Absolutely, it's amazing. I mean, the iron will that it took to do that, the discipline, dedication. I mean, obviously you love it, but those are the things with the stress and this being like a lonely road at times and things. You've given a very brutally real, like both sides. The good side, the bad side. Everything in life has that. I think it's a very good lesson though, because you were surrounding yourself with what you loved from a young age. You had other people wanting to do this, and I always say to people, who you surround yourself with is very important. You have to have people with goals and people with ambitions around you. You can't be around people who are negative or they're not doing anything with their lives. So I think it's sort of cool in a way that maybe that helped your success as well. But very inspiring journey. I mean, absolute that's entrepreneurship, isn't it? As they say. I mean, that's the entrepreneur
I
journey.
would say, yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the message like? I can talk a lot, because it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But uh, let me give you an example. Like I started a club at my third sport. That wasn't my biggest expertise. Wasn't my. It's like I was a blue belt at that time. Blue belts were allowed to teach. Today, blue belts are not allowed to teach. In general, that there is things like you can teach purple and up. It's like blue belt now. Like you cannot teach. Nobody can forbid anyone, but you're not supposed to teach. And like I started with that. It's like my colleagues. I cannot like. I still like hold grudges. It's like my colleagues back then. I cannot say my friends were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I opened a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club." Like, what's that? There's Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. There's Judo. You know that? Like, how did you like? How do you know that? I'm like, but I have a blue belt and I'm studying. I'm going like to seminars. I'm catching people all around to show me something. I try. I watch seminars. I copy. They're like, man, you cannot invent a sport. It's like Mladen invented the sport. So it's like you went crazy. Here's Mladen, the Brazilian guy. Like he invented the. Let us watch the videos. I showed them the videos. It's Jujigatame. It's the basic armbar. Judo guys are like, we have that. It's like this is nothing. It's like this is a Brazilian judo guy. I'm like, no, 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 no. It's similar. It's like it's related. It's an offspring of, but it's not the same. They're like, no, like Mladen lost his mind. Like, why are you still coming to judo when you think Brazilian jiu-jitsu is better? It's like, I love everything. Like I still love this one. Like you can love soccer and basketball, right? And from time to time, it's like get it. And it's not a comparison because like martial arts is similar. It's like I was like fighter at 2 already. This one's very similar, and I studied alone. It's I taught from experience to my guys. Like we go to competitions, I win one, I lose one. You know what I do the next class? Okay, guys, this is how I lost. This is how this guy tricked me. I don't want you to be tricked like this. So like learn from my you get it. It's like learn from my experience, learn from me going around, and that's how we had to do it. That's how why I tell my students like you're fortunate because like there's everything there on the plate. Take it, like learn, enjoy. There's competitions. You don't have to travel. Well, it's good to travel. You need to travel if you want like new skills, new challenges. But like you can compete 2, 3 times a year here in Montenegro. It's like almost no expenses.
Yeah.
And that's compared to like when I started, uh, that's incredible. It was like to have it there because like in Europe at that time, I think there was like 3 black belts, 3 Brazilian black belts, and like Sweden, Hungary, and UK. It's like,
Mm.
and Montenegro is like in the middle of nowhere. So, after some times like 2016, no, 15, end of 15, I got my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and started competing right away. Right away, it was IBJJF Munich. It was Italia Open. It was like a bunch of competitions, testing myself with like, and you fight the guys who train this. much longer than me, who had it like from their father black belt to them. It's uncomparable things. If I didn't have my previous experience from judo, from jiu-jitsu, it's like I would be like completely smashed. I wouldn't say that I wasn't smashed at a lot of times, but like helped me. That's how we started. That's how we pushed. Like, and then later on in USA and Canada, had the opportunity to fight like very good people, who, like one of the best, maybe the best guys. And some people say I did well. Some people say if you find my match with Gordon Ryan, like the best grappling fighter of all time, in my opinion, no doubt. Uh, uh, I scored, for example, a sweep on Gordon. It's like a lot of people at that competition couldn't score at all. So that's my like pride I take from, I was like I had that. It's like there's also comments, but it was absolute. It's like skill wise, I couldn't follow after some minutes, some like middle of the fight, and also when it comes to size, because it was absolute category. But like 15 days after that, my opponent took ADCC World's gold. So it is something, it's the experience that it's not small after all these years, like bringing it back to people, and they do well. They do extremely well. I have like two black belts now that are from me and Andre, that is visiting like once or twice per year from New York. So like those guys can fight anyone. Those guys even beat American competitor, Brazilian competitor. That's what I wanted. I wanted a legit story, a legit source of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Montenegro, and like luckily it turned out well. It couldn't be in a failure. I would be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Like leave this everything, stick to maybe like being assistant coach at judo somewhere. But it took off at all three sports. I would say really well, but it's hard work. I'm going to tell you, like it's a madman's work. It's like I cannot. If somebody, maybe before I started, somebody told me you're going to do this with one club, this in second sport, this in third sport. You're going to stay until 1 p.m. in the gyms. You're going to fix like roofs of the bed gyms. You're going to clean. You're going to teach in the morning. You're going to go to like college, and then after you teach again, then you travel, then you fight also. I would say like no, thank you, and you get like a lot of money for it. I would say, man, it's crazy plan. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. If somebody put it all at once to me, I would be like, man, it's like you made it up. It cannot be done. It's like a lot of times, it's like things I did is like I'm talking you about will. I'm talking you about the desire, not about like me as me. It's just like I think I have the love for it and the will that like not many people have. It's like because I used to take like 20 people to a competition, international one, drive myself, no sleep, let them all fight and coach them. 20 people, it's like 2, 3, 4 fights, depends. Lose my voice, get a terrible headache, and fight at the end. Fight for like brown belts, as like only brown belt against black belt, for example, in Croatia, in Serbia, in like Slovenia. And of course, like sometimes I won, or sometimes I lost, but like what I did, nobody would step on the man. And I still do it from time to time. I cannot resist the feeling, you know. It's like now I have a lot of injuries, of course, family, it's all distractions, you know, but still from time to time I jump in maybe 30% prepared instead of 100% to maybe back up my guys to have a better number to you know do the things, but I don't regret it because it's not about me and my result anymore. It's bigger, you know. Sometimes I don't feel like training. I usually train every night. I train and roll with all my guys, for examples. Like there's not a single person in the gym that didn't like jump on my back and threw me practice moves on me. You know, I'm not that coach that like sits in the corner and like do this, do that. It's like I'm there. It's like I'm really there. Um, so I think it means to them. A lot of people tell me is like we appreciate you being there. You lead by example. I wouldn't fight so hard if it wasn't for you. It's like that's what makes me like you know, that's what completes me. That's the mission I was on. You know, for example, also one good example. Like imagine like having a 5-year-old kid training until he is 15, and now he goes from kids group to adult group, and now he's my sparring partner. Now we're buddies. Now we're family, man. After 10 years, get it? It's like we go to competitions together. It's not like it's very that's what I would say maybe differs, what makes the difference between like Matalau and uh, other classic clubs. It's those things. How many times I feel like I cannot train tonight? I'm completely like exhausted, and then one guy is like an extra. He needs to switch with the other two guys and wait. And like, let's go again. Like I train with you, and I jump in, and I do the whole training. You know, but it's good for me also. You know, I not going to be like fat old coach sitting on the side, and you know. So they
Yeah,
push me now.
that's amazing though, because well, I mean, there's so many things you said in there, but I love your teaching style, first of all. I mean, getting involved, being hands-on, taking them to the competitions. What you said there about, if something doesn't go well for you, you teach them. And not many people show those sort of vulnerabilities, where you'll come back and say, look, I made this mistake in the competition, learn from this. It takes a big man to do that. So big respect on that, just so I don't forget to say. And I mean, I love your teaching style, and I love, like I said earlier, giving these opportunities because if it wasn't for you, a lot of these people wouldn't have those opportunities. But whether they go on to compete or whatever they do, I mean, you'll understand this because the magic of this type of thing, the magic of sports, martial arts, you see a kid come into the gym, maybe he's really quiet, he's not talking to anybody, and his parents are saying, look, we want to bring him out of his shell a little bit or whatever. And then, he's there a few weeks or a month or something and he's talking to people, just as one example. And then if he goes on to compete, well, that's great. But even if he doesn't and he just gets some belts and things and improves his confidence, that's still magic. So then the way I see it with this is like the lives that you've touched from doing this, even with situations like that, where maybe, it's helped people with some other type of thing. I mean, I know people who've been like they've had depression or something, they've been suicidal or whatever, and they've gone training, they've done it for like 6 months or whatever, and it's improved it. So there's a lot of other things as well as when they win something, which is obviously magic. And that's not really a question. I'm just saying to you, absolutely powerful. So I don't forget about it because we've talked a lot about the coaching with your competitions as well. Gordon Ryan, these type of things. I think that was the one I saw actually when I first heard about YouTube. Not that that's surprising. I think it was. But I'd like to just touch on a couple of your proudest moments from competition. What I usually do with this is like we can't talk about them all. I'd love to, but we'd be here, a long time. So I often say to people, the ones that stand out to you. And it's not always the biggest win. It's often like when people look back and there's a particular competition that stands out as being special. And we focused on the impact on other people a lot, but I just want to give it a mention to some of the things you've achieved personally as well, because those are amazing as well. Is there one, maybe more than one, that stands out as being like more special to you than the others?
Why I must emphasize like my first victory in USA because I wasn't sure, it's a lot of pressure, let's say it's a huge doubt on me, It's like can I really come here and like these videos I watched these competitions and videos like there was I you can't see it, you cannot touch it, you don't know, like I enter those like gyms, like this is the gym that I watch in the video, this is the teams that this is the coaches that I saw on the highlights. Get it? It's like, so the first time was like, I think it was a tri-star guy from Canada that I beat by heel hook. That victory for me means a world, because it was there, it's like I can really do it. It's at black belt, at like uh, that one. And there's a couple of also, I would say 2012, way back. I had a like huge problem with staph infection that used to like come back and forth. It's probably like an open pimple or something, sweat into it during the trainings and like gave me a hard time. I almost quit completely. A lot of antibiotics, everything's like, and put on a lot of weight, like 95 plus. And I was like, man, I cannot do it. And like I do one training, it comes back. It's like my immune system was like completely crashed. So I decided to do like one last. It's like my very close people to me know what I'm talking about. I was like, I'm going to do this one in Croatia in Split 2012, and it's going to be my last. Because like I know after that fight, it was like it was a challenge fight. The year before I won like it's a Japanese Jiu-Jitsu World Cup. I won one of the categories, so now the organizer was like, we're going to join like a couple of super fights of the champions of different weight classes. It was like to open the big event, and it was called like a couple of matches, 4, 6 World Grand Prix of that organization. And I fought a guy from Holland, JC Herbert, very good fighter, like BJJ black belt, judo black belt, sambo competitor, very accomplished, one weight class lower than me. And I was like, whatever, wherever this goes, especially if I lose, it's done. Because I know in the morning on my thigh there's going to be like open hole that I have to like again go antibiotics, problems, and everything. So that one I won. Luckily, in like until the end of the 2012, I cured that completely. Then I came back like new life, new everything, and I'm telling you, I think mentally, if I lost that one, uh, I'm not going to say the treatment of the infection would be worse, but it has a mental kick, It's like that victory kicked me up, lifted me. So it's almost like a second turn, It's like those two, I would say, but I could go on and on about fights and stuff.
Yeah, but it's good to hear like a couple of them. Like I said, I mean that's what I mean with someone who's been doing this such a long time. There's so many, there's going to be too many to mention. But I like just asking that because when people think back, there's certain special ones, and they're never the ones you expect. Usually it's not somebody's biggest win. It's usually something like what you said. There's usually something where like everything's going wrong.
Yeah, from the
Outside.
inside, it's the battle from the inside that you take. It means a lot.
And that's a really good lesson for people as
Good
well.
question, my friend. Like very impressed with the question.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's just something from like putting myself in your shoes for a moment and just thinking, okay, if I was in that position and I'm thinking back of like dozens or hundreds of competitions, which ones would stand out because it's so many, some of them you probably forget about them, some of them maybe from time to time you think, but then other ones they come back and you think, yeah, that was like a special time, like the nostalgic feeling. So it's just of like, which ones and I love that because obviously we focused on your impact on other people, which is massive, but I just wanted to give that a mention because you're very accomplished as well. As we move on to the last couple of things with this, obviously now after many years of struggle, you are having the success, you have the clubs, you have the teams, you have the impact on TV quite a bit, which we haven't mentioned really, but that's important as well. So when it comes to the future, I mean, I know like you told me earlier about getting the sport included and the Ministry of Sport and the sort of battle you had with them. So there's a real more than being a pioneer, like I don't know what to call it, but there's like a massive impact that you're having. So I'd imagine that with that you want to move that forward in the future even more than it is now. But really my question is like what's next for you? Because we've talked a lot about like where you've come from, some of what you've achieved, but the journey's not over, it's never over. I mean, you've still got that passion, you've still got that fire, you're still young, like you were saying earlier as well. So you have a lot of years to go with teaching and probably with competition as well. So basically, can you share with us a few goals for the future? I don't mind how far, like if it's a year, 2 years, if it's like 5 years. I mean, whatever. That's up to you. But it shows people that when you love something, the work is never done and it's stressful, but it's also worth it in a different way, I would say.
Uh, the most important thing is like stay on the course, keep pushing, don't give up. It's like stereotypes of phrases, but like it's deep. It's like the real meaning of those is like a book by itself. Uh, what's next? Like I'm here. Things now are like, how do you say? There's the jungle is clean. There's no more obstacles. Like we go here, okay, we go. We know how to do it. We've been on that way. We did it this way. We did it this way. We did it. It's like it's easier, but also you get tired. You get kind of fed up with time. It's like traveling a lot and competing and everything. Also, when it comes to my competitions, I'm not sure. I'm going to do it because I told you I got the itch. Still, it's like I watch those matches. Sometimes I don't compete. I'm like, "No, I want to jump in." Even like I know that I cannot perform at 100%. For like 2017 up, I cannot perform like 100%. I would say 18 and after, it's like injuries that like prevent me from performing the right way. But for example, out of nowhere, uh, 3 months ago at Japanese Jiu-Jitsu European Championship, I fought veterans class, like took silver, and like the final was like controversial, could have been gold, like, but it doesn't matter. Like I'm telling you, like those opportunities are everywhere. When it comes to the club, I for example, this Montenegro Open that I mentioned you, we did very well, took first place overall among 14 teams from not only Montenegro but like surrounding countries, even had like guys from Russia, Colombia, Canada, uh, you know, and guys did really well, like 19 goals and everything. I cannot express by words how tired I was organizing it and after it, and like still recovering. It was 3 days ago, still recovering, but it's like who's going to like send the info to the journalist? It's not going to be like somebody else, it's going to be me. So I need to sit down. It's like okay, 3 hours less of sleep, do it. send it to the media. This morning had to do the TV work. It's like just somebody hears about it, because that's how it goes. Now people, when they say it's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they know it's something that exists parallel to Judo and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Before it was like, what? Cage fighting? No, not cage fighting. It was like, it was bunch of articles. It was bunch of like TV. It was like early mornings. When I had like part-time jobs, escape from the job, like 15 minutes to do this, like, please let me like, do the interview, like come back, and but I cannot, I come to the gym and I look at also the kids and the guys, like that they expect it from me. I need to do it, and but what's the plan is like get some weight off my shoulders gradually. It's like give the organization of the competition to one of my guys, give the media thing to a media guy, maybe. It's like still not there. It's like I cannot pay people, still not like to do it for me. But like hopefully assistant coaches also. But it's rare to find the same the willingness and just like the consistency to show up. It's like people are difficult. Can you show up every day, Monday till Saturday at 7 p.m.? Yes, maybe. No. Then like birthday, I have to like I have a cold. I have a cold. I had all my colds. I was standing and teaching. All my fevers. I was standing and teaching. Get my point. So like,
Yes.
you cannot be 5 minutes late to kids class. You cannot like you need to open gym on time. You need to have like, you need to talk to people. You need to say hi. You need to ask the parent if the kid is doing well. Like talk to. You cannot be like, I know technique and I part my French, I kick ass and I'm going to show this technique now. Hello, goodbye, see you later. It's like you cannot work like that. So I have couple of people that I like recognize their quality that could stay, but I also need the enthusiasm. I also need the sacrifice, because I'm not going. Maybe it sounds, I don't know, too demanding, but I'm not going to give it to someone so I can go watch a movie if I know that at least it's not similar to the quality that I provide.
Yeah.
Because I take it very personal. Everyone who comes, I consider it a trust. I give you my kid. It's like work with him. He cannot defend. He's bullied at school. He has like always keeps his head down, like confidence issues. You fix all that. It's like coaching is like very. It's how do you say? Doesn't pay off in those sense. You do a lot of things for a lot of people, and people don't recognize what you did for them. Happened a lot of times, like with adults more than kids. Like kids know, and kids grow up, and like even if they don't realize why, maybe you were strict at times, you made them do more repetitions, then like later they're like, oh, like this guy was doing well for me, like this guy wanted me to be better. It's like adults are a bit difficult, because like it's difficult to change or to help someone who doesn't want to change or doesn't want to be helped, if you get what
Yeah.
I mean. So not everyone who comes he says he wants to lose weight or to learn something or to change his mindset, but he doesn't have what it takes, or doesn't want to um, doesn't want to put enough work. Get it? It's like it's a very ungrateful thing, but it's also like unique, I would say. Being a coach is very unique thing in martial arts. I would say it's maybe different in soccer, it's different in ball sports, but in fighting, in martial arts, where you have like character education, it's like imagine you teach chokes and arm locks to like an evil person, bad person. It's like you also need to filter, you know. It's what I do a lot, and some people are like, oh, cannot, like, if I see somebody who wants to like learn the art of strangles and locks and throws in order to be good in a fight at the bar, and like in order to beat someone up, and like, and doesn't look at it the right way, I'm going to say, after 5 days, my friend, it's like, you cannot train here. It's like, I cannot teach you anymore. Is your money back? It's like, please find another place. Maybe it's like you and me, we don't work along. Some things like cannot behave like that. You know, we cannot like have all kinds of people. You know, it's like have uh, have guys like wanted like see someone in the newspaper article and coming like in the gym like, I want to test this guy, like like you cannot like even step on the mat. Now sometimes we let those guys jump in, you know. It's like, of course, one of my very good guys is going to take care of them. They rarely stay, you know. It's like, it's bullies, it's, I don't know what it was, how what's the right name for those people, you know. But like, I'm not even going to like let you pollute the good environment. Uh, Also, like, parents come and like, here's my kid, I cannot do anything with my kid, doesn't listen to me, here you go, take this. Like, sir, please. It's like, I'm just a coach, I'm just a human. If you as a parent cannot like control your kid, it's like, what you want me to do? It's like, I can try, but you know what happens later? Is like, what happens later is like they both quit early. They don't like get it. It's like, this is difficult. It's very difficult to like have the to set the, you know, the boundaries of quality. I don't know how to say. And I'm very happy, for example, when some people tell me, it's like, you know, this guy from, you know, from the neighborhood, from the street, from whatever, from the reputation, he wanted to come and train, but like when we told him, it's like, it's your school, you're the coach, it's like, oh, I cannot like with this guy. It's like, that's good, that's perfect, because they know I'm demanding, they know that I'm going to like be boring, you know. Because I'm also a lot traditional, you know. It's not about, it's like, there's people come to the gym, they don't want to bow. You don't bow to me. It's a Japanese culture, sports, it's a high, it's a respect. It's like, I bow to no one. Oh, thank you, my friend, didn't recognize you, see you later, bye bye, leave the gym. It's like, you know, it's like, no shoes off the mat. Once, twice, third time you forgot, fourth time, I'm like, please, please, let us train. Don't ruin our training. You know, it's like, let us, it's like, you don't want, it's not a weightlifting gym. It's not a park. You know, it's like, there are some simple rules. You know, it's like, Martial arts have very specific place, I would say, in society today, because people are losing the connection with politeness, with modesty, with respect. You know, and like it's not it's sport. It's covered as sports, but it's martial arts. Here in Montenegrin language, is like I'm a language guy. We say we say martial skills, literally translated. But for me, like English is perfect. It's martial arts. We don't say arts. We say like skills in our language. Like it's different. And I also tell people like you need to take example of English. It's arts, like act as artists, like have your gi clean. You know, you cannot come like don't put it out of the bag. It's like all crushed and smelly, and you come like I came here to train. No, somebody's going to put their face on that. You know, it's the system, it's the whole system. So it's difficult work, but it's beautiful work. You know, it's like I talk a lot, right? I talk too much. It's wide answers.
It's good answers, though. It's good answers because, well, I said to you, didn't I, before we started, I said just from the heart, and I said, I think you will anyway. But that's what you're doing, and that's great because that's what people need to hear. And no, I mean, filtering people, this concept of what you were saying, having the right people around you, the right people who learn this, it's amazing because not many people have that integrity, for a lot of people now. Unfortunately, money is the main thing that they look at. And obviously with you, everybody has to make money, but you have a deeper integrity than that, which I respect a lot because, from my experience being around different gyms, they vary a lot, and what I said earlier with your teaching style, getting physically involved with the students, sharing with the students things from your competitions, things you did well, things that didn't go well. All of these things that you've been saying, it's very very important. And what you were saying there about the right people and not teaching it to the wrong people and the bullies and all of this stuff. I mean, it's a big problem around any type of fighting. Is it insecure people and they want to prove something. And because it always comes from some type of insecurity, I think, most of the time when they're trying to do that. And obviously, it has to be when you're doing this, you have to want to do it for a sincere motivation, and I've seen it. I've seen it with fighters, even from the competition side, with like boxing, MMA, now you see a lot of guys like your generation, they had more love. Now you get like a percentage of guys where they think, okay, this is going to get me rich quickly. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to have like 20 fights or something. It's like a bank robbery. I'm in, I'm out, I've got my money. And it doesn't work like that. It's not the case. And what I found is when you meet those people, even if they have made their money from that, because they don't love it, they end up feeling bitter and unhappy at the end of it, and I've met some great champions like that, and they meet them at the end and they're miserable people, and you think, well, okay, why would somebody train with him? Whereas like with yourself, your life's been hard, obviously, but then it's also been rewarding because you're doing this for a reason, a much deeper reason, and you're helping people and you're contributing to people, and you're humble. It doesn't have the ego thing in there. So all of these things, it makes people 100 times happier. And I would say, like, if people want to compete, do it for the right reasons, even if it's to make your family proud or to make yourself proud or to represent your country or just something other than like showing off, and obviously there's too much of that now. I mean, you were saying with the UFC and everything, obviously back then, you had very humble guys, and you had people getting having a go at this, and everything. And, even if they got finished quickly, I mean, I remember like they had a sumo guy in there and he got finished with a kick, like, very early. But yeah, like it was still coming from a humble position. Whereas now you get some guys like that, you get some guys who think this is my way to like be famous and stuff. And what I really like about your stories is like now, you are on TV and things and you are getting the recognition which you do deserve, in my opinion, but then it's coming from an authentic place. It's coming from like a very, it's coming from a much more meaningful place. So when I contacted you with your story, it was these kinds of things of like, coaching people and helping them, obviously being an elite competitor, being a pioneer. And obviously I knew, after doing it for so long, you can tell who has a great story behind like what you know. So I knew there'd be something there. But honestly, this has exceeded my expectations of what I thought because I knew it would be good, but like because there's so many lessons in there and there's so many fun stories in there as well. 'Cause that's all I was aiming for, like a couple of things you've learned along the way and a couple of fun stories, and then we've done that and then some, and my last question was about like what you would say to the youth and everything, but actually in a lot of ways you've answered that because the respect, the humility, absolutely amazing. So I don't forget as well, I will say to our audience, anyone out there who wants to train and compete with with this amazing individual, obviously you're very welcome to do so. I know from experience, he's very accessible. Instagram, I contacted you on. Are there other places like Facebook or Twitter or other things that you use?
Facebook, also Instagram, my website, Jokmanovic Academy, .me. Uh, Twitter I don't have. It's like need to like jump on. What else I don't have? I don't have the TikTok and stuff. But like you can find me. It's like name of the club or my name, and it's like people. It's easy to find. I think.
Yeah, it is. But I
And
just
of course, thank you for like recognizing and the opportunity and nice words. And I see you understand like what I'm trying to like represent and advocate.
yeah, I do because it's something that well, it's a journey for the right reasons, and then when you're out there and your club is getting bigger and you're getting the TV presence and all of these things, and even when you're competing and you're winning and all of this stuff, it has that deeper meaning because then you're representing not just yourself, but you're representing those principles. You're showing that these principles because, as I said at the beginning, a lot of the students will learn about life from you. I mean, it's not just about the technique. I can tell that they'll pick things up about like the way to be, the way to treat people and the way to treat yourself in a lot of ways. That like you said earlier, things that people don't have now, these things that used to be very common virtues. But these days, not with everybody, but there's more people who don't have it, and it's sort of shifting. So I really like going back to what I said right at the beginning about role models and things. There's some good ones, but there's a lot of not good ones. So like when you're out there, it's showing people these way of thinking, way of living, because at the end of the day, they'll be happier people, whether they compete or not. I mean, I've met enough guys in my time who were like, back in the day, they were like a gangster or something, or they were like some sort of big shot with this, and then they come out of it at the end, and they just say to people, you should never do that. I don't know why I did that. I wasted my time. Yes, I made money, but I was miserable. Or, you meet other people where they worked in an office and they've got like a really good job. So I'm not criticizing anybody if it's what they want to do. But if it's not what they want to do and they've settled for it and they're always looking back thinking, oh man, if I'd have taken that risk then to open my own club or do like what you did, man, I wish I'd done that. How many like elderly people do you meet and they say, oh, I wish I'd done that. And so, like I say, if they want to work in an office or a bank, go for it. But if
That's
it,
yeah.
go on,
Exactly.
sorry.
Like, sorry for interrupting. It's like a couple of months ago, a guy told me, like, wait. It's like you're that coach. Like, yeah, you're Mladen. I'm like, yeah. You saved the neighborhood. Older guy, it's like a senior citizen. I'm like, what do I do? That street there, it's like it's a mess. It's like drug dealers and stuff. It's like everything's there. It's like after like there was maybe 10 kids from that street that was close to the like former location of the gym. After they trained, they're like, you do judo, karate, what do you do? I mean, judo, jiu-jitsu. After they trained, it's like that street is not a problem anymore. It's just like, and I wasn't aware. It's like you used to do, there's like, you're used to your neighborhood. You're not aware. This is like, people look at it like that. And what's the biggest satisfaction for me is like people tell me, for example, from other clubs, it's like your kids are very well behaved. They never like leave trash. They never fight other kids. They never break things in the gyms during competitions, It's like people coming, it's like I brought you my kid because I saw that guy. It's like he was very well behaved with you in the interview, articulated, look well. It's like I want my son to be like that guy. I want my son to be like Nicola, Sarjan, Vuk. It's like, and I was like, man, I got goosebumps. That's what makes me like very accomplished and satisfied. That's the thing. It's like if somebody called me and said like, that guy did something very wrong, I'll be like, not my guy, some mistake. You got something. It's like that guy, no way. It's like must be something behind the story, must go deeper in it, because that's how much I'm sure about the people that are in my club for a long time. And also the kids, for example, I know my kid is not going to beat up other kids. I know my kid is not going to like soccer kick kid in a fight. I know, get me what I'm saying. I know my kid is going to help a kid being beat up by 2-3 kids. And it's like people say, like, I'm letting you, like your ideas are, you idealize too much. You're like, you cannot do those things. Like take the money, you have 20 people more. But like, I really think this is the way. And like I say, one how do I say, like one rotten apple ruins the rest.
Yeah.
I really think so. It's like in this case, it's good. So that would be like, there is a gentleman named Jigoro Kano, the founder of judo. It's like I would say he founded the system of his art, judo, and he also had those ideas. I a lot like look up and take it from judo. Judo has that culture that a bit now in the competition stepped away from, to like be a better member of society, have like mutual prosperity for everyone, make other people better with you. It's like, and I don't think like it's not for today. It's not for our times. I don't think it's ancient. I don't think it's like washed up old. It's like I really believe it's possible, and it should be done through martial arts, through combat sports, through whatever. Yes, you step away from it, you think about points and stuff like that, trophy, a medal. But like I think that educational thing and like self-improvement and improving people is real, and like that's how I work, at least.
Well, like I said, that's what you do, and it's amazing. I agree completely. I'll have to go in a minute now, but the last thing is I agree completely because it's the same when I interview people. If I have someone on here who's like an Olympian or somebody really successful, if they have these types of values, they can come on. But sometimes you get people who don't have that. But even if they're really successful, I don't interview them. And people look at the choices, and they think like, okay, one week I have someone in the Olympics, one week I have somebody who like used to be a criminal or something, and they've turned it around and they've changed, and they want to share with the young people or these type of things. But it's never like because of the success, like the success, all the belts or trophies and things. It's because of like, that person represents something, but then another person, they don't represent it and they're very successful, and I'm sure that's fine, they're doing their thing, but it's not what I want to represent, of like somebody getting on and saying, oh, look, I'm amazing because I won this and I won that or whatever. It's like, well, no, you need to have learned more from it than that. So, come back to me in a few years or whatever. So it's like, I think we have the same mind, in a different way that it manifests and everything, but we have the same mind, because when I'm representing stories, it has to be the right type of people saying the right type of things. Hence I spoke to you, and it's we're on the same level. I have to go, my friend. I'm sorry. I would love to talk with you more, to be honest. But when this interview is released, I will send it to you as well, so you can share it. So obviously, I'll be promoting it my side, but you can use it anywhere, social media, your website, anything that helps you. I definitely think some more people will hear about your story from this, and I hope that people come and train with you and come and meet you from this. But even if they just listen to it and they're somewhere else around the world, because I have followers in all around Europe, the UK, America, parts of Asia, people listen around the world. So I hope then some of these lessons filter down and, they're able to absorb that. And the last thing is just not only thank you for your time, but also thank you for being such an open book, as they say, it's sharing the highs, the lows, the good times, the bad times, because that's what people learn from. And I tell you what, I will bow because, in all honesty,
Go back.
even though I know I'm sitting here, but still, because actually of respect for, honestly, with yourself, not just you, but the lineage and the impact that you have on all of these people as well. So we'll keep in touch after this, and like you said, if I'm in Montenegro soon, we'll meet up. If you're in Cyprus, we'll meet up, and we'll take it from there, man. But we'll keep in
For
touch
sure,
anyway.
for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Was a great honor. Like big respect, my friend. And it's like let's keep in touch and see you around. The world is small. It's like
Yes.
or I come there, you come here, or whatever. Like
Yeah.
because we're friends now.
We're friends now, we're friends, absolutely, we're friends, and we're neighbors as well, because,
Yeah,
I'm in Europe now. I'm out of, because we had the Brexit thing and everything. So we're separate, but now I'm in Europe, so I can move around places. It would be lovely to meet you, my friend. You have a great day, and I'll speak with you very soon when this is released, and we'll go from there. But thank you, and big respect to you as well. Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Best wishes again to your family and everything, and
Bye
we'll
bye.
speak
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.